Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday, and welcome to your daily lighting critique. We've got a handful of images to go through. We've got a reemergence of Andre, I believe. Andre, hello. If you are here. Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot now.
I think he's deafened, so I couldn't hear you.
Oh, he's deafened? Let's not do that.
Yeah, he had the headphone thing.
Oh.
I think he was on his end.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
he was talking to someone or something.
Oh, okay. I was like, we definitely did not. Because I did, remember, Aaron, we did that to you a while back. Anyway. Okay, cool. So we've got a bunch of images to go through. We'll go through those that are here live. Aaron, so we'll start with you because you got the AA first name. And I think you posted first, so you went done. So we've got the previous version. We were working on reducing the amount of rim light, kind of making it, you made it a little bit brighter outside there. I think the lighting on these characters out here looks a lot better. You were able to get that bounce light in there, kind of warm them up. You get that nice skin tone going down. I like that the darkening is happening inside here. I went ahead and just, I had a minute this morning because I saw this and I was like, ooh, I want to do something. And I went in and, like, the first thing that I wanted to do was, because basically there's warm outside and warm inside from these light bulbs coming down. And I thought about, like, what it would be kind of cool if we distinguish those two spaces as being, like, because this is such a warm, lush environment, like, what if we made this, like, cool, desaturated inside to kind of contrast them a little bit? So I went ahead and I boosted them even more out there and made that expose that up just a touch more. I took these lights and I desaturated those, and then for the foreground, I guess I slid it over too. I took that and that's that way. Okay. And I just kind of cooled it off a little bit. And I also think that I probably darkened it a little bit too, if I remember right. Yeah, just kind of. Brights to be brighter, but the midtones, yeah. Just because I think it's working so well. I'm just like loving the texture that's coming down here, and then just seeing a little bit of the eye is great. And then what I would do from here is just kind of like sculpt in some specular light in there, like specifically on the claws. And just kind of like on these arms a little bit to kind of read up that, because it's all about like getting this kind of like cool specular shaping in there. I think that would work out really well. And then I think that compositionally it's working out well. Actually, now that I think about this, let me try something else here real quick. What if we actually, instead of seeing these lights, what if we actually just turn them off? Do it a little like so that, because I think that'll actually, because we could maybe just kind of like feeling a little bit of a haze up there instead.
Okay.
Because I think what that would do is, oh weird, because I think that what that would do is, because having these lights on kind of, it makes it hard to frame up the dino's head a little bit and really kind of read that silhouette. So I think that by turning them off and maybe just putting one kind of right on the edge up here, and feel free to disagree with this, guys, it would kind of free up this area to just be to read the profile a little bit more, to kind of read the teeth a little bit more and the tongue, and just kind of get that going. How do you feel about that? Does that make sense? Is that kind of where you're going?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it gets a little away from the goofy little collector card, but yeah. the card is so inaccurate anyway. Yeah, I don't dislike it. I want to keep some light up there so that it just matches the old story a little bit more. But I see what you're saying. Like they do take away from the foreground character.
Yeah, it's just like from a compositional standpoint, it's just a matter of, and I'm sorry, I was just desaturating the pipe a little more too.
I think that looks really, really good. So okay,
we'll see. I mean,
right.
kick it around a little bit, but I think without without knowing not with the loyalty to the original, I think that will, or maybe just like, I don't know.
I'm not really like married to really any specific thing. I posed it up. I wasn't like extremely happy with it, but I've invested enough time and energy into this one. Like, I want it to look good. Like, and I want it to replace just one of the things on my demo. So, whatever I have to do to make it look better is I'm totally fine with.
I'm also wondering, like, there's going to be room to play with the eye itself a little bit. And like,
oh, you're really glowing it up. Okay, I glowed it, but yeah, you're like really going.
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. Basically, I'm just. That's kind of my way of working. Is I will, overdo, like overcorrect what I think, and just. I always think of it like somebody told me this one time. It's like focusing a camera. You kind of have to go too far one way and then come back and like kind of center it in. So when you're adjusting something, like make sure to crank it.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, cool. Yeah. I'll take a look at the setup. Like, I like the idea of this pipe not being so yellow and stuff. So, I'll for sure dive in and take a look.
That's great. All right, cool.
If you go back to, do you have the old one in there by any chance? The Jeep. I took the Jeep out. 2 reasons.
Yeah, that's better.
Is it better without?
Yep.
Okay, because 1, I don't want to texture it, and 2, I just felt like it gave story-wise, it gave the characters more of like an escape route.
Right. It's like,
because
then it turns out like, can they get to the car fast enough as opposed
to if you can just drive away at 70 miles an hour, like, whatever. Okay, cool.
All right, cool. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Andre, I did the dumb thing in Photoshop where I pulled it down. So this is your. Actually, let me just grab your. No, not side by side. I'll grab your original. The previous version, the update. So amazing update. Like, if you like, there was something about seeing the thumbnail of the update that was like, man, this is looking really nice. And I think that what it was is like kind of getting the saturation of the colors in place. This darkening around the house is working really well. Just kind of like the cohesion of the sunlight versus the shadow area. The softness level feels right. Like the sharpness of this mailbox shadow feels right versus like this, which is a shadow being cast from something much, much further away. But this feels about right. Like a touch of softness in the snow on a sunny day is looking really good. This cracking that you added to the ice in the foreground looks really cool. I'm wondering, I was looking at that and I meant to pull up some more reference, but it feels universal across all of the surface. I'm wondering if there isn't more cracking around the shore, and then in the center it actually is smoother, or maybe there's like a path that it gets cracked along. I think just having it kind of uniformly across it, I think we can take that a step further, because it's such a great idea in breaking up that space, because that's something that I've struggled. I struggled with playing with the shot. I was like, man, what do you do with this kind of just like flat surface? And by adding that texture in there, it really, really breaks it up. I love I'm reading more books right now about composition, and I'm trying to learn more about composition, and just like different ideas about it. But I'm loving like this band of like light that's kind of cutting across at a little bit of an angle, kind of happening right down the middle. That really helps sell it a little bit. I'm wondering. Also, this area looks great. Like that softness of the lights and the trees back there coming along this one. That tree's actually kind of tricky. Like these areas are a little tricky, and you kind of nailed it. I'm wondering if we can't trickle a little bit of key light into this in the foreground. Just because we've got a lot of shadow and a lot of like similar values from this side down, that maybe just pushing a little bit in, maybe even behind the tree on the ground there might be beneficial. But yeah. All right, cool. All right, anybody else have any thoughts on this one? It's good to have you back, buddy. Your little photo there is so intense. It's so funny because that's very different than the man that I know you as being very like so like warm and But this looks like that dude's about to kick my ass. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Let's hop over into Bipul's here. All right. So eyes are looking great. I think there's a little bit more specularity in the hair, which is the only other note that we had. Was there anything else that was updated on this?
Yeah, I added the highlights on the hair, and I think I also made the image brighter.
Yeah.
Overall image.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, I think this looks really good. Just gonna do a quick once kind of around to take a look at it. Anybody have any other thoughts on this? Yeah, I think this is good. Yeah, I think it's good. I think we're ready to call this done. You guys ready to clap a little bit and say and prove it? Well, and I'll add this to the Mr. Bean Hall of Fame if that's cool with you.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, so I didn't know if there's like anything else if you want to render it like higher res or anything. It looks great to me. I just want to. I always give artists like the chance before I take it away and post it somewhere. It feels very aggressive to do that.
It's 1080p. It's high enough quality.
All right, perfect. All right, guys, congratulations. This is great.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for the notes.
That's so funny, Ruby. I didn't know that was you down there until I heard your whoop in my. I was like, oh, Ruby's here. All right, great. All right, cool.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so I want to take a look at this one. So this is Kaya. So just as a reference point, we've got the. I forget what this is from. It feels familiar to me, but I can't quite place it. If anyone knows it, please shout it out. I'm just gonna play this through here. So yeah, really beautiful stuff. Love the color scheme. The little bit of fire in the snowy environment is cool. I think it's really nice. The one thing about the overall feel of it versus the original is just the saturation point. Like this saturation is a little bit this is a little bit more toned to back, a little more gentle in the saturation. Where this one's a little higher. You know, if you pulled it back a little bit, you would match it in a little bit more. But that's more about especially the blues. The oranges, I wonder if they might be in a pretty good spot. And then looking at the back of the character, I actually think we could make the light that's hitting the character a little bit warmer to kind of tie those two things together. To tie that light is being caused from the flames. Also, that light feels very stable. Like it's not flickering with the flame. So I think a little animation on that, if it's a separate light, would be really good. Good. I don't know if you set the camera on this, but these are some nice framing elements here in the foreground, and kind of leading us back here to the character. This is something that's like the opposite problem than I thought would ever happen in something like this. But usually when you have a string or something like this, it kind of falls below 1 pixel and you don't really see it that well. And so sometimes you have to figure out ways to get things to read. That string is very bright in yours. It's really really standing out. So I'm definitely aware of it. I think we can possibly tone it down a little bit, especially because like I see the string and actually I kind of lose the arrow. So what's happening to the arrow is kind of what I would expect. So I think just pulling back on, if that's the material or a light or something, I think I would just pull that back a little bit. And then I wonder if, and this is a really tricky one, but I wonder if when the character turns her head more to the left here, if we couldn't just pick up a little bit more of the profile of the nose and like get a little more light on the face there. I would also, last note, consider maybe putting something, maybe like a much fainter outline of like a hill that's even further back in space, because we have such a nice fall off, like darks to like, count them. It's 1, can't draw this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we just kind of go into like pure kind of snow fog back there. I almost feel like there should be one more shape back there that's just like steps it back just one more. That's between these two values, because that jump is pretty. It makes it feel like the space just kind of stops there, and it feels a little bit more like a set than what I was expecting. Yeah. Anybody else have any thoughts on this? Cool stuff. I mean, bonus points if you could get the snow falling around the fire to be a little bit warmer, but I don't know if that's possible. All right, cool, good stuff. All right, let's look at Keldon's. Keldon, this is the it's titled Final, so I'm guessing this is your final. That was a
just final render, but any comp changes would be awesome.
Got it. I tried that trick in grad school. I tell this story with my thesis where I sent my final version of it and I was just tired and I was just really wanted to be done with it. So I tried a technique of sending it to all my thesis advisors saying, God, thank you all so much. Each one of you have helped me so far along the way. I can't believe the journey's over. Like, that kind of thing. And I was like, put him in a position to be a jerk to say, no, we're not done with this. It worked, but yeah, so I was thinking about that. Anyway, the light as she looked down on her face is better.
Yeah, I moved the bounce cart quite a bit closer to get both him and her brighter. And then I also, for the other two shots, I have little rotos, little blurred rotos to brighten spots on their faces. Mm-hmm. And I turned it off for the first shot originally. So I just turned it back on and moved it to her, just under her cheek there.
Yeah. All three of them, they all look good. The only note that I have is like watching them play out in sequence is the second shot now feels a touch darker in the shadows. Mm-hmm. Like it just like watching them in sequence, it just feels a little darker. I wonder if, and this could just be a comp tweak, it's just taking the like darker, like just lifting the darks a little bit.
Just on that.
Yeah, just on that shot. Just
kind of on the characters.
Yes. Let me look at the bench.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think just on the characters. Background looks good. Yeah, just on the characters.
Okay.
But I think it's. I'll open it up. Do you all have any other thoughts on this? I think it looks great.
So, sorry, are you thinking specifically the warm light? Because I could re-render just that middle bit and move the bounce cart closer.
Yeah.
Like I did in the first one.
That'd probably be better.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, just watch it one more time. Yeah, I think everything else looks great. Cool. Let's check out this demo reel update.
Yeah. So I just moved the desk man to the end and added some info in the title card.
Yeah, starting with this shot this shot is so strong.
I have a question about saying, so at the front of this it says look dev lighting comp. Look dev in the way of, I mean, Keldon, I don't know exactly what you did look dev wise, but all of us do like adjust the shaders and everything. We're not maybe doing the texture work, like the actual color RGB stuff, but we are in there making sure that it interacts with the light correctly, making sure that all the values are correct. Can we promote then look dev, or is it best to leave that off?
I think all of these titles are murky, right? They're all kind of gray area titles. I think what ends up happening is you list your titles, and then you provide a breakdown sheet that provides more detailed information. Sure. Each studio kind of provides their own descriptions of what these things are. But also always remember, you need to, like, this is the hard part. You need to be your number one marketing person, because there's nobody else that's really going to do it for you, right? So putting yourself out, if you're on the fence, do exactly what you're doing now and ask, because I'm going to tell you, like, if you think that you should, if you feel like you should, I would put it in. Like I lean on the side of being a little bit more heavy-handed about this stuff, as long as you can justify it in some way. As long as you then state in a breakdown sheet exactly what you meant by that, because it's not dishonest, because you were saying it exactly as is.
Yeah, that's not what I was trying to get at. It's like companies use the phrase "look dev" all the time in like every single posting. It's like, I don't know,
Keldon. One super dumb thing. I think there's an extra space between texturing and like I feel like there's two spaces in there.
That's a good catch.
I always do that because like that I always ignore those and then trying to like make sure, because there's no like spell check in this stuff. I always do spell checking stuff. I think it's okay. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, this is all good.
Great.
Oh, the other thing I was gonna say was with this shot, this might just be where it currently is, but it kind of freezes at the end for a couple frames before you go on to the next one. Just make sure that
I actually added a still of the last frame just to hold that pose for a couple more seconds, but I can take that out.
Yeah,
just so I would sort of see the master shot.
I would take it out.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the idea. It starts to be like, oh, like, because again, everything else is like there's motion, and the second stuff stops. It just feels extra static for some reason.
Okay.
Right, cool. Ruby, hi. How are you?
Hello. Good.
All right. So flowers are looking nice and punchy and bright. I think the biggest thing is like feeling more of the sun, like I feel like sunlight on her, but on the environment itself, like I really just kind of want to feel a brighter I want to feel more influence from the sunlight, and that would be the biggest thing for right now. Like because like looking at the back wall feels, and again that's fine that that's in shadow, but it feels pretty consistent. Let me just try like a little mock up here. It keeps doing that whenever I copy and paste stuff. It like shifts it. Let's see. Sorry, it's just like my weird. I'm making it worse. All right, last one. Nope. All right, good enough. Good enough. Okay, basically, what I would do is I would then take this and then. Why is this not giving me levels? All right, image adjustment. Oh, weird. Oh, because I turned it off. No. Make it like push the brightness kind of overall in this region, and then it's mostly because it's like kind of chromatically feeling somewhat similar. I was making sure that kind of warmth of that sunlight is being felt in that pool, because that will really help in there as well. Sorry, my photoshopping skills have let me down here. All right, now I'm really driving me crazy. But that would be the biggest. That would be the biggest adjustment that I would make, was just kind of making sure that light is coming through more strongly. Why? Oh my gosh. Okay, I need to stop doing this. There we go. All right, just coming in and go. There we go. There we go. All right. So yeah, just getting her to still not right. Just getting her to feel that kind of bright at the spotlight, because that'll really help play off the cool background. But I think what you've got here is the you've got the tough stuff done, right? Which is like how to make the flowers look good in the shadows. And I think they're already kind of there. Now it's just a matter of just like boosting them up a little bit. I think they might be, some of them, especially these red ones, might be a little bit pushed too much, like a little bit too much ambient on them. But I think it'll be okay to kind of pull that back, because you can always render out like some ambient occlusion and paint that in and just get some subtle shadowing going on in there.
Okay.
And then in terms of composition stuff too, I would just make this foreground a little bit darker too. Just like if I kind of just did that for now. There's a quick mock-up. Yeah, just kind of slightly darken down beneath her a little bit more. As a way of, again, just kind of like really kind of focusing us in up there.
Mm-hmm.
Her garments are looking really nice. Like her shirt and her shawl look really good. Those are coming together really nicely. Like just like a nice amount of speck and sheen on them.
Yeah, I was going for like a kind of shiny fabric, and yeah, so, I liked it.
All right, cool. Anybody else have any thoughts on this? All right, y'all. I think that is all for today. Did I miss anybody? I think we're all set. I'm just gonna say my goodbye as I just do a quick last spot check and make sure we got everybody. Yeah. I always feel so bad when I miss people. Here we go. I got that. All right, cool. We got everyone. Y'all, thank you very much again for joining in today. I will get this posted to YouTube, and I will see you all back on Friday. Tomorrow, more written critiques, and we'll be back live on Friday. So enjoy the next couple days, and I will see you all soon.
See you guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.